What's up everyone, this is DDO Zonixx, and I'm going to be making another video. This one is focused more on my first impressions on what melee characters are like in Dungeons & Dragons Online, as well as just my general opinion on the class and some comparison to casters. Now, as I stated in a couple of my previous videos, all the characters that I've been playing for 4 years now, every single character that I've ever made has been a caster type class, either Favorite Soul was one of my first casters. I had sorcerers, wizards. I think I had a cleric or two, but not really any high level ones. Mostly wizards and sorcerers. And my main focus has been sorcerers and favorite souls. So pretty much, I haven't really had any experience with any caster type classes, and with any melee type classes. I have had experience with caster type classes for 4 years, but melee type characters I really have never played. This is the highest level melee character I've ever gotten, and that's level 8. And I've been playing since 2007 now. So there are a lot of differences between melees and casters, and a lot of things that are quite different, and I'm going to be pointing those out. So the main difference, at least I think the main difference, is self-sufficiency. And a lot of people are probably going to be arguing with this because I'm playing a Barbarian, and Barbarians are one of the least self-sufficient classes in the game. Barbarians have no armor class, they have a ton of hit points, but they can't heal themselves. They can't use heal scrolls when they're raged, or a lot of potions when they're raged. They can use Cure Serious potions, but those, again, only heal for, I'll use one, they heal for 20 damage, 19 damage, they heal anywhere from 20 to 30. So they're really just, in the long run, when you have 600 or so hit points, they don't help that much. So overall, Barbarian is not a very self-sufficient class, and as you can see, I'm relying on a hireling to heal me. Especially in elite quests, the healing gets really intense when you're taking hits for 30 and 40 points of damage. You either have to take it really, really slowly, which is something that a caster does not have to worry about, or you have to have some really intense healing going on. Now, when I was running on this on the elite before, it was a lot more intense. These guys were hitting me for at least 20 points of damage, if not more. And I was missing some of the time, and I had to take it really slowly. Hard, it's a little bit easier. Generally normal, you can still breeze through normal content. But with the new bravery bonus, you're going to have to be doing elite. If you want the serious experience, you're going to be doing elite a lot more often than you were before. So it's a lot more difficult to heal myself, and a lot more difficult to stay alive. Whereas on my casters, I would just constantly be reconstructing myself. I would constantly have an ability of self-healing. Additionally, I was playing a Warforged, so I had all the Warforged immunities, which they may not seem like a lot, but when you're in combat and you're fighting, especially on Elite, you get held for 12 seconds and you're done. 12 seconds of being able to do absolutely nothing in addition to taking 50% additional damage. It's just you're done. You're gonna die. It doesn't matter how many hit points you have. In about 5 seconds you'll be dead. On elite difficulty anyway. So when you're a Warforged, you can't get held, so it's a lot easier to deal with. Generally also Warforged, you have all the really easy sources of healing. When you get to level 9 as a sorcerer or a wizard, you can start using Reconstruct scrolls, and that's just huge. That's 120 points of healing, whenever you want to. And you really can't do that on a Barbarian. You're going to either have to use a hireling or you're going to have to use potions. So that's number one. That's a huge, huge difference in casters and in melee, is the self-sufficiency. And again, this is my very first melee, so I chose a Barbarian to play as. And a lot of people are going to be probably saying, well, you can play different types of melee, like Rangers or Exploiter type builds with UMD that can use heal scrolls and all that stuff. And that's true. But as my first melee, I really didn't want to make a character that I could mess up so easily. So that's why I started off with Barbarian. And I know this probably won't be the best character ever. In fact, I think it's not going to be too great at level 20. Who knows? But It's really easy to make a Barbarian. You maximum strength, maximum constitution. As you can see, every single one of my other skills is essentially at 0. Or, at the bare minimum. So that's why I made a Barbarian, because they're really not that difficult to mess up. And you pretty much just, I'm held right here, and that's what I was talking about. See, I might even die. Well, I completed the quest anyway. That's what's important. But going back to what I was saying, barbarians are just so easy to create, so easy to just get started without having to worry about all your statistics or anything like that, or your feats. So that's why I made a Barbarian, and I'm going to see how it is to level 20. So Barbarians, anyway, they are definitely not that self-sufficient. Again, number one, big difference between my caster, my Warforged Sorcerer, and my half-orc Barbarian is self-sufficiency, which is a lot less self-sufficient. So difference number two now is overall power. Now, I'm going to say right now that I definitely enjoy playing my Barbarian. It's really fun to play. I'm really having fun making a ton of melee weapons using my Cannith Crafter. Reminiscence, my favorite soul is now at about 90 in all 3 schools in Cannith Crafting, so I can craft just about every bound item. And I'm having a lot of fun making all the weapons and everything. I don't know why, it's just fun making weapons that, are specialized for certain enemies. So I definitely have a ton of fun playing my Barbarian. I'm not sure, maybe even more so than my caster, but the overall scope of power of my Barbarian just doesn't seem to be as much as my caster. At level 8, my caster had Fireball and Firewall, I believe, and with the Fireball, you could just nuke an enemy, for hundreds of points of damage. You just cast a Fireball, and every single enemy in the area is just annihilated. Now, with the melee, it just doesn't work like that. You have to spend time during each and every single fight actually swinging your axe and killing everything. Now, in normal difficulty, it's pretty quick, and it usually only takes 1 or 2 swings to get rid of an enemy, so you're only looking at a couple of seconds to get rid of a huge crowd of enemies. But on hard and elite especially, you're looking at 15, sometimes even 20 seconds just to kill a couple of enemies. And I know that casters don't work that way. Casters are more about pure power, but more resource conservation. So with the caster, you have your spell point pool, but so long as you have those spell points, so long as you have that power, you will be doing massive amounts of damage, and you'll have massive power. Is what I'm trying to say. But then again, as a caster, when you run out of those spell points, you're essentially done. You either have to chug a mana pot, which is nothing anybody wants to ever do, because of their, super expense, or you have to find a shrine, or you may have to recall for mana or whatever. But as a melee, you can keep going. You don't really need to worry about shrines nearly as much. I mean, you're still gonna have more power with shrining, because of course as a Barbarian, for example, you'll have your action clickies, you'll have your rages, and you'll have your clickies and all that stuff after you shrine. So after a certain point, after about 15 minutes of fighting, when you run out of all your clickies and when you run out of all your rages and abilities and everything like that, it's definitely more advantageous to use a shrine than to just keep on fighting. But you don't need to shrine. Like, as a caster, if you run out of spell points, you need to shrine to keep going. As a melee, you can keep going without a shrine, and everything will pretty much be the same, except, you won't be doing as much damage, and you might not have quite as much survivability. So things will be a little bit slower, but it's not like the world has ended like it does on a caster. So that's one huge difference. Again, the overall power scope is much different on a melee character than it is on a caster character. But, the most important thing is fun, and if you're having fun playing any character, then who cares how powerful you are, who cares how much damage you're doing, or how much you're dying. It's all about having fun. So if you're having fun, definitely play the character that you want to. So anyway, I turned off the mic for a second just because I wanted to concentrate during that fight. That's pretty much it. So if you're having fun, definitely just play the class you want to. Play a melee, play a caster. You know, sometimes I get really bored of casters because it's just essentially throwing fireballs over and over, and you know, even though you're breezing through the quest, it gets pretty boring and pretty repetitive. Whereas a melee, things seem to be a little bit, you know, you're changing things up. You're actually having to focus. You're having to keep track of your health. You're having to use your clickies to make sure you're maximizing your damage output. And so, you know, while the survivability and while the power scopes may be different between the two, overall, I am definitely still enjoying playing my melee character, and I will continue to keep playing my melee character, and we'll see how it goes. I know I have some pretty good loot at level 20 that I have planned on making, so I'll probably be making some more videos about melees. They might not be as uber elite as my caster videos, but they'll still be enjoyable, I hope. So I'm going to wrap up this video. I managed to get 2 parts of Tangleroot done, which is pretty cool. Got some EXP. And once again, thanks everybody for watching. And don't forget, I am having a contest that's running through September 29th, 2011, where you have the chance to win 1,000,000 platinum on the Sarlona server, and you have a chance to double your odds of winning that 1,000,000 platinum by posting on the forum page as well. And all that information is on my channel. It's a couple of videos back from this one, and it's pretty clear from the title. It's something like a win 1,000,000 platinum 100 subscriber contest. And yeah, thanks everyone. I did hit 100 subscribers recently, and that number's going up pretty quickly, so thanks everyone. I do appreciate everyone watching my videos, and I will continue to make more of them, and will hopefully be releasing them. So thanks again everyone for watching, and that's been my first impressions video on my first melee character in 4 years. So that's about it. So thanks again for watching.